Hi, this is Tekuzora, and today I wanted to talk about competitive TF2. This is the day 2 of the Meet Your Match update. So, yeah, competitive TF2, it's a thing. It's like ranked Overwatch, because I know that's the big thing now. Whatever. It's very easy to join into. It's actually the first option when you hit play, actually, on TF2 now. If you want to do old pub servers, you now have to instead go to the server browser and look for pub servers like that. Which is fine. It's actually even better because Valve isn't involved anymore. So that means that community servers can actually become a big thing now without needing as much ad revenue as they used to. Maybe we'll see a rise in non-ad revenue sponsored community revenue. You know? Anyway. So this is competitive 6v6. This is the main game mode that is being used. And this is mostly because most leagues in the world, not just North America, the world, play the 6v6 competitive game mode. The 6v6 competitive game mode revolves around having 6 players per team. There are no class bans, but there are class limits in most leagues. But because the ranked in-game does not have that, I won't go into it too much. You can always find the rules for your respective region's main league if you want to know what the actual bans for certain classes are. They're not actual bans, but there are limits to how many of a certain class you can have. It's to prevent stacking of like 8 heavies or something, you know what I mean? But in this case, since this is competitive matchmaking, there is no class limits. In other words, you can have such a ridiculous, unbelievable amount. This is where I figure out the other team has 2 medics, by the way. I see that and I realize, oh, well, we have very little hope of pushing into that. There is someone capping mid, so I go back in, but this heavy's going to strike me. So, yeah. Anyway. There's some things that I want to go over about this. So this game mode is functionally great, but it's not planned out the best way it could have been, honestly. We killed one of their medics here. But they have 2. So the way TF2 works, we have 7 classes, and they're all completely unique. There's no overlap. Like, there aren't defensive classes, there aren't offensive classes. The classes are incredibly unique and different, and they don't actually cover each other's roles at all. There's also no direct counters. Every class can do something to another class and not get shut down. There's no way of blocking damage in this game except for the invincibility granted by a medic's uber charge. So those are all things that you need to keep in mind with TF2. It's a very diverse game with 9 classes that are all viable in any situation. Well, not any situation, but they're all viable in specific situations throughout a game. There's no such thing as a map where, oh, this class isn't viable, which is something that I've actually seen a lot in Overwatch, like where certain heroes or champions are actually not viable in certain maps because the maps don't work for those. I'm actually die HLX in the chat. Yeah, certain classes are just not viable in Overwatch or even most MOBAs, given the situation. There's always a situation where, on every map, where a class is completely viable and very useful, and like even like weird plays and stuff. Like if you have a team that can work around it, obviously you need a team who's willing to work around it. You can do something really unique and very interesting. It's like chess, you know. Like everything here is being calmed. Like I'm calming with 4 people, there's two people on our team who are kind of like wild cards because we're not in like chat with them. But like this is a decision where we just decide to spam that entrance, cap the point quickly, keep spamming that entrance. I know that they've popped Vaccinator here, so they've got resistance to explosives. I should have switched to rockets there. I didn't see that they switched it. We're going to back cap, so we're gonna have. We told Gumby to go in and bomb, and he actually gets like a 3K here, which is ridiculous. It drops to their medic even. So that was insanely great. Also, TF2 just has great movement. This is a movement that you won't see in any other games. I'm not trying to sell TF2 to you. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I obviously think that everyone should give it a chance, and I'm also not trying to say it's better than any game in particular. I have my preferences. This is my preferred game, but it doesn't make it better or worse than your preferred game. But there's room to enjoy 2 or 3 competitive class-based shooters. It's all about how you want to spend your time, though. Like, I don't want to spend 8 hours a day in Overwatch Ranked. I do want to spend 6 hours a day on TF2 competitive. Let's put it that way. Like, those are fun for me. Also, we knew that our scout, that was Mons, is capping, so we pushed it. I want to play this game 6 hours a day. I don't want to play Overwatch 6 hours a day. I do like playing Overwatch. Overwatch Ranked's fun. I just don't care enough to devote a ton of time to it. For the record, I am rank 42, 45 on Overwatch in Ranked. This is not a prestige. I'm not prestige at all, or whatever the word is for it when you get 100 ranks. But I started at 45, so once I got through my placement matches, that's where I stand. I'm not terrible at the game. I understand Overwatch, so it's not a matter of I'm not good at it. I don't enjoy it. I just think that TF2 is more fun. Overwatch is entertaining. My point though is that it's completely up to you how you want to spend your time with your games. If you want to play Dota or League, go for it. You want to play Pokemon Go? That's the new thing now. Dude, go for it. I'm gonna lose this fight. It's a pretty good fight actually, but I'm gonna lose it because I drop down here and I take fall damage. I thought I was gonna drop onto the ramp and I didn't. So that was kind of embarrassing. But there's room to experiment and play and not bash out a game. You know what I mean? TF2 isn't dead. It was looking... The numbers were looking a lot worse than they had been, but they were still good numbers. And this has reinvigorated a lot of the community into playing TF2 again, which is great. I'm actually really happy that that's happened. This is bad. I'm at 2 health now. I'm like, what do I do? I'm gonna die. Yeah. This has reinvigorated a lot of the community and actually being interested in playing. And that's good. That's good. Now, what we really need to get TF2 to be taken as a serious esport by sponsors, because we do have sponsors in TF2. They're just... and we do have big tournament prize pots, too. They're just not as frequent as other games because we just don't have the draw that other games seem to have for that, whether they be new or whether it be because they're popular, you know what I mean? So we just don't have that competitive draw quite yet, but we're hoping. But we really need sponsors and players and these crits here, so we're gonna, me and my medic are gonna hide. But, and I'm gonna try and stop this point so my team can cap mid. I drop their medic. Their soldier's lit. I tell my med to go and be with the heavy. Be cheerful buddies together. Anyway. Watch this scrub get fucked by the engineer. No, he doesn't. Nice. And I wanted to bash on Cody a little. Oh, he's gonna get fucked by the soldier though. No, he doesn't. God, this guy's a genius. Okay. Waiting for a forward spawn. I'm gonna switch classes so that I can go into, get the closer to the fight spawn. I'm gonna fuck on this soldier in a moment because he's the only one on the point. Jump in. I know I have an Uber. I don't need it. I'm just gonna kill him. And then we're just gonna push in because we have a pick advantage. There's gonna be this mini center here that I'm gonna save Mons from. I see that. I don't want to have anything really to deal with it. The scout's gonna come in. He's gonna die. And then we're gonna Uber in here. We're gonna get a ton of kills. The mini sentry's gonna kill Mons before anything. I think he got someone. Kill this engineer. That's a team wipe. We win. Or will we win? Yeah, we won. Outright. But this is how competitive works. If you're curious. I'm gonna load up another one, actually, because why not? I want to load up another one where we win. We've only lost one, but there was some dropped matches too where people just left the game before we could really do anything. That was not that cool, honestly. Like this one, they dropped the matches because they lost the mid. I think that needs to be punished, honestly. Okay, here's the divide. This will work. Yeah. So I would like it if people who are interested in class-based shooters played Battleborn and TF2 and Overwatch, you know, to the whichever ones they enjoy the most, they play. You know what I mean? And not just like say like this one's the killer of that one or whatever. I would really enjoy it, and I would really like it if Valve or another group really pushed getting these games more recognition. We've recently gotten Twitch integration in TF2. That's been great. People are paying attention to it within the TF2 community. Now, if we could get Twitch to put us on the front page a little more, that'd be great too. That'd be even better. Twitch actually does like us. They have community members and staff members who are big fans of us, actually, as a community. They just see that there's currently a bigger draw from other games. The real thing is, if we can get advertisements for TF2 on, like, television, the way Overwatch gets it, or on the computer, you know, on the internet, like Overwatch gets, or and have bigger prize pots and better funding. And these are all things that come with companies taking the dive to help us, because we do have sponsors. We do. They're just not able to provide us as much as some sponsors are. I actually don't think that this is a match that we actually play. I think someone dropped out and we couldn't get in. That's unfortunate. That was okay. I know there was one Viaduct that we actually did manage to play, and it was very fun. This was a process that we lost 2-1. This was our only loss of the evening. Here we go. This looks promising. No, it doesn't. This is the that was the Koth match. Okay, it's this one. There we go. Yeah. I don't know. This isn't supposed to take the place either of private or public leagues. Like ESEA is a private league, you know, and UGC is a private league and stuff, right? Like these are groups that sorry about that. I would love to edit that out, me tapping on my phone, but something urgent came up and frankly I wasn't able to. Anyway, so game match started. There's a lot here. TF2 is a 10-year-old game now, and it does show its age a little bit sometimes, but it's still really good. Like, for a 10-year-old game, this is actually really decent. Capping this point slowly. Okay. What I'm really looking for, what I'm really hoping to see is sponsors in TF2 who are willing to do more than just pay league fees. I want them to pick up players and like make administrative decisions for players and stuff like that, and hire managers and coaches and stuff. I want to see this. It's starting to happen, but it's not happening at a rate that I feel comfortable with. I feel like there needs to be a push of interest from the entirety of the management and developers and the publicity crowd for this game if it wants to succeed as competitive game mode. Because right now, the reason why it doesn't succeed as a competitive game mode, because the competitive mode is fine. There's not anything distinctly wrong with how TF2 plays. There isn't. It's just a matter of notice. That's the big thing. Once TF2 went free to play, it had a huge amount of traction, but we didn't have a competitive mode that was supported by Valve. At the time, Valve said they didn't like our competitive mode. Now we have the support of Valve for competitive mode, but we don't have the attention that we did when we went free to play. So we need to gain attention other ways. Whether that be by big name tournaments at like big feature events, whether that be publicity stunts or billboards online and shit. I mean, the game is still free. There's nothing stopping people from downloading it other than lack of a push for it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see tons of attention given to it, and there could be. We could get bigger sponsors, you know, sponsors that aren't just ASUS for one tournament, you know what I mean? Like, we've had that. We've had ASUS sponsor us for just one tournament. It was a recent tournament, mind you, but, like, they dropped the sponsorship as soon as the tournament was over. And they'll probably pick it up again for the next tournament, but it's like, that's so dumb. Why don't you just sponsor a team? We'll brand ourselves as ASUS and, like, play using all of your products. Like, that can be an actual selling point. You can do that. We've had BenQ sponsor tournaments too. I mean, it's not like we've had Razer Arena sponsor a ton of tournaments, actually. All through the summer, actually. We still support our leagues. There are sponsors. We just need more sponsors and better attention. You know what I mean? Like, better... We need to be on the front page of Twitch. We need to be on Facebook as advertisements. We need to be all over Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, these are things that will sell a game, you know? Because the game itself is fun. It's a lot of fun. You just need to be introduced to it, you know? And it's not for everyone, obviously. There's going to be people who don't like this sort of game. But there is way more here than, like, oh, well, it's just a bad game. It's not a bad game by any means. There's, despite what Mon's username might be, actually, in this particular match, actually, I think he's actually, yeah, he's tagged as this game is bad. This round, because I think they managed to cap here and I'm not able to do anything about it. I am able to escape though. Anyway, so yeah, I've mentioned how this game works, what it needs to do if it wants to become the big thing in esports, and we don't need to be bigger than other games. We just need to be big enough where we are actually seeing support. You know what I mean? Like we actually need to be big enough to see that the public community is interested in what we do. Right now, we're seeing it. We are. We're just not seeing it at a scale that is frankly necessary for our growth. And that's upsetting. Okay, there was no call that the medic popped here. We didn't know that he used, so we just kind of ran into kind of a death trap. That scout wasn't talking to us, so we had no idea that reinforced them. And this guy's a little bit dodgy. And the thing about League play, right? Competitive leagues don't need to be superseded by matchmaking. They don't even need to like acknowledge matchmaking. You know, matchmaking is just a thing. We can have official sponsored leagues. Pokemon does this. They've got a private metagame in Smogon's tier set. This is mostly relying on what Pokemon Showdown's league play is like. And then they have the VGC, which is a dedicated official format, and the VGC works with 2v2 Pokemon battles, so double battles. That's the official rules, and no legendaries. Like those are and no duplicate items, I think was a clause. There's a few clauses, but those are actually programmed into the game, those rules. That's official tournament play for Pokemon. But we still have Smogon, which seems to attract a lot of people. We can still have ESEA be a huge TF2 supporter. They don't want to be anymore, unfortunately, because they think that we're all a bit too whiny, I think is what they've said. LP Kane's kind of a dick. But like even then, even if we still have other leagues, we can always get SIVO back. You know, we used to have SIVO sponsor us. We can always get a different league. The key thing, though, is we don't need an official league. We can. That'd be nice. What we do need is we need the interest and the prize pool and the management and the sponsorship to support players dedicating their life to this game again. People can't dedicate their lives to TF2. And I know that sounds really weird coming from me, someone who advocates getting out and working for a living. I do. But it's not like I don't want to see this be an option as a career for people who want to make this a career. You know, like, why should you, if you want to be a professional gamer. I'm not gonna say esport because esport's stupid. I think I've said it before though. I'm not. But if you want to be a professional gamer, right, or you want to be a professional for this game in particular, you need to have a sustainable income. You know, whether that be being paid to play on a team or being sponsored to go to events because this game is free to play. Like, these are things that need to happen for your lifestyle to actually be a thing. It's not currently viable. It's viable for one person and one person only, and that's banny because.
Why are you using the needle thingy? Why don't you have the thingy?
Yeah, that's.
Medic.
Yeah, so that's not currently happening though. We're not currently capable of being self-sufficient. There's one player in all of TF2 who is currently self-sufficient, and that's because he lives alone in an apartment complex. You know what I mean? Like, his bills aren't huge. They're certainly not. He's certainly not living like living poorly, but he's, you know, he's not. He's certainly not living large either. And you don't need to be living large, but you do need a sustainable income for more than just one person. You know, he's not getting it from TF2 particularly. He's getting it from streaming TF2 constantly. You know, that's the difference there. Okay, I know that spy's everywhere, but I don't know where he went. It's kind of backed on me. Not super bad, but it's enough where it's like, yeah, he stabs my medic there. Anyway. Yeah, so the game just needs to be sustainable for people who want to. And people who want to be professionals in a game shouldn't have to feel like they're being pressured into comparable other games that aren't their true calling. This has actually happened. There are players who were the top of TF2, and they've moved on to CSGO and Overwatch because, oh, there's more money there. They don't know that there's more money there. They just feel like there is right now. You know, and it's looking like there might be. But they would rather play TF2. They think TF2 is more fun. So why should they play a game that they don't enjoy as much? Like a Seagull. A Seagull is a great example. He loves TF2. He literally does. He's been a world champion back in what was it? I want to say 2008, maybe it was 2009. No, it had to be like 2011 or 2010. I'm sorry. But he was a world champion of TF2, and he played for quite a few seasons after that. Huge Overwatch player, probably the most subscribed Overwatch player on YouTube right now, actually. I don't know that for sure. I'm not going to fact check that. And he's enjoying Overwatch, yeah, but I'm sure he would come back to TF2 too if there was money involved. Like, it's all a matter of, it's not sustainable for players to play like this when there's no sponsorships and no support and all of that. And that needs to happen. You know, it just needs to be advertised to people. It's a fun game. Would I ever become a professional TF2 player? I don't think so. I think I would always rather work. But I would love to get good enough at TF2 where I can feel good about myself playing it. You know what I mean? And I would love to like look up to people who are way better at it than I am. You know, that happens all the time. Mons and I both missed that air shot. We saw the medic go up and we were just like, yes, we need this, and we both missed it, and then Mons just shot a rocket at him while he was on the ground. We're going to watch to the end of this game. I know it's been quite a long video, and I'm kind of running out of things to actually explicitly say. I could talk about some of the problems with this update, like having to go through the server browser to find pubs. That's kind of a big issue, but you know, at least pubs are no longer competing with Valve pubs. They're just competing with their brand. You know, that's kind of nice. It needs more recognition, obviously, that they're doing that. Like, they need to appear on something other than the server browser. That would be great. But, you know, it does take all kinds. This is me jumping out to, like, support the medic because there's a scout on him. I think we're still gonna kind of get left here. I don't think I was able to save him from the Demoman. Yeah. I'm gonna die here. I think what they do is, like, the other team gets clocked down to overtime, and then we manage to recap. I don't know why Gumby went in there. Cody's being Cody, doing things without thinking about the consequences. I also think some of the item changes, they're not unreasonable, but maybe they could use more community thought. I don't know. That's a possibility. I'm telling them to focus the medic because he's closer. I don't want him getting Uber. No, we just hold it. We just don't let them get step off. Again. Yeah, I think that'll be it, though. Like, I think I've gone over literally everything I could possibly want to. I like how it doesn't show me on the scoreboard. Like, I'm supposed to be here, but it doesn't show me because it's a demo. From my point of view. Yeah. So I hope you guys think about this. Think about what your favorite game is, why you want to play it, all that jazz. Maybe support, like, you know, more than one game. That's always a really cool thought. I'll see you around.